So you guys have my word, I have not looked at anything for this. This is my first time watching this. All I know is people seem to be disappointed, but I like Sonic 06, so here we go.
IGN First for the month of June 2022 is all about Sonic Frontiers. We've got gameplay, we've got previews, and we've got interviews from the developers who made it all happen. All month long, we'll be diving deep into
this
what
isn't
you can
narrated,
expect
right?
when the game makes its way to you later down the road. First up, we've got the world premiere gameplay focusing on exploring the mysterious island that Sonic suddenly finds himself stranded on at the start of the game.
Just the
Be sure
intro,
to stick with IGN throughout June so you don't miss anything. Until then, here's your first look at gameplay from Sonic Frontiers.
I mean, damn, they still got those Shadow of the Colossus vibes going on right now that I initially felt from the first trailer. Okay. I could already tell this is going to be such a good broken speedrun. I mean, my first impressions are this does not look like a Sonic game. This environment does not look like Sonic other than the loops. Very interesting choice of music, too. Okay, you need to speed up, thank you. You're Sonic the Hedgehog, please. Everything's gotta be Breath of the Wild these days. And let me guess, you climb to the top of the tower and it reveals a portion of the map. Waypoint kind of thing. Come on, you gotta go faster than that, Sonic. Okay, no waypoint thing. I mean, there was something up there. I guess he unlocked the checkpoint. Like, travel there in the future kind of thing. Ooh, that poppin', boy. That makes me excited. Because like I said, I either want super unfinished terrible Sonic, or I want a really good Sonic. So this is definitely leaning towards the more, like, probably going to be super janked up, but that's okay for me. I've accepted it as a Sonic fan all these years. We're kind of used to it at this point. Well, here's the one good thing where people always say, like, Sonic games need to be faster, enough of the slow platforming stuff. It seems like this, you're going to be able to freely explore fast, right? With all the rail grinding and running. Please, for the love of Sonic, keep the 2D platforming crap out of this game. I'm so tired of 2D Sonic segments making their way in the 3D Sonic games. Really tired of that. Just give me a fully 3D game. Keep the 2D platforming out. Oh my god, the speedrun for this game is gonna be... We are foaming at the mouth right now. The glitch hunters are just like... Oh, this is a dream come true. You can just tell by looking at the movement mechanics in this game with whatever the hell that quadruple jump shit is here. It's gonna be so busted. You're gonna be breaking out of bounds in this game in 2 seconds. Oh god. Puzzles in my Sonic game? Thankfully they look simple. I mean, I kinda dig the new look. Does it suck that this doesn't look like it's like Green Hill Zone? Yeah, people would love that, right? Like a bit of an open world Green Hill Zone looking area. But it's refreshing, it's different. It's definitely a weird combination. Oh. Okay, we've got like scanning going on. Where are the enemies? This literally is Shadow of the Colossus. Are there just bosses? Where? I can't believe, like, it's taken me a bit for this to sink in, but holy shit, that poppin'. I don't think this was ready to show yet. A little early, but I'd rather see something than nothing. Okay. The controls... It looks like you have, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's easier to control Sonic. Normally in 3D Sonic games like this, especially 06, the movement of Sonic was really hard when you're moving fast. But this looks like you have a bit more control over it, which is very important. It also feels like Sonic should be going a little faster, and maybe in the full release he'll go faster, because it's very obvious that there's a lot of popping and they don't want to break the game with frame rate at this moment. I'd hope he goes faster, because it still seems a little slow. Is this literally just going to be a compilation of puzzle-solving minigames in my Sonic? Please, no. Puzzles in Sonic. This is really fascinating. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. That's one of the most calm Sonic trailers I've ever seen. Here's the combat. Okay, let's see the combat before we rush to judgment here. Let's not get... Let's give it a chance.
IGN First continues on with yet another look at Sonic Frontiers gameplay, this time focusing on combat. Sonic is up against an all-new set of baddies, some of which are among the most massive bosses we've ever seen in a Sonic game. Fortunately, Sonic's got some new tricks up his sleeve. Make sure to stick with IGN
puzzles
all throughout June, because we've got a full hands-on preview and interviews from
So for
the
people that
developers
aren't
in
aware,
store.
I'm not
For
a
now,
big
though,
fan
enjoy
of
the
puzzles
combat
in my
of
games
Sonic
these days.
Frontiers.
Like, if I'm gonna play a puzzle game, I'll play a puzzle game. Don't put your puzzle crap in my platformers, okay? Very peculiar with that stuff. Oh god, this looks jank as hell. Oh yes. This is definitely on the lower end of the spectrum, like jank and like AAA Sonic, it's like, it's real close. I can feel it. Which is good. Like I said, I don't want an in-between. I either want absolute trash fire or I want something really good. And just the early impressions, it's looking like a good, terrible Sonic. It's literally Sonic 06 too. Oh man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Listen, for those of you out there that are like, you've been struggling to get into Sonic games for many years, and you're like, maybe this is the one to bring me back, it's not. I can tell you that. This is what we've known and loved for all these years. Listen, there's a reason they brought back Sonic 06 onto the digital storefront on Xbox recently. So that way you can play the predecessor to this game, okay? Go download it today. The whole tracing enemies thing is kind of neat. I like that. That's kind of cool. There's another game that does that. I can't remember what it is. What? Do you guys remember what game does that? Where you like trace an enemy and then it's just. I know I've seen it before. Just drawing a blank on it. Oh yeah, Okami. Thank you. Yeah, this is like super Okami combat there. I love his new flying attacks. Oh man. Is this the last, like, is this the last trailer that they have that shows something new? So like the reveal and then the combat? Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know, the combat looks... Okay, so here's my concern. Look at how long and drawn out these battles are. This is like Elden Ring style lengths of combat. You don't just jump on an enemy and homing attack them anymore. It's seemingly everything they're showing here is like, alright, get ready for a 5-minute battle. I'm noticing that the sound design, though, is pretty impactful, which seems important. I like that. I like games that emphasize aerial combat. The combat looks way better than the stuff from the first trailer that they showed. This is looking... Combat is actually looking promising. Seems to have a lot of weight behind it. Normally in Sonic games, you just mash the attack button and he just kind of like homing attacks, and it's kind of mindless. This seems like you need a bit more thought. See, that's cool. I actually like that. Comboing the enemies together with that. Okay. Very interesting. The combat's kind of ringing me back in, you know? Pun intended. Okay, here's the Shadow of the Colossus aspect. Yep. Wouldn't be a Sonic demo without him struggling to climb something. Oh, these boss battles are super Sonic 06 in style. Man, I'm getting so many 06 vibes from this game, and that's a good thing. Yep, terrible camera confirms. Yep. See, he slipped off the enemy, and they're like, alright, hard cut it. Whoever's doing this demo took like 10 minutes to do what they needed to do. Just cut it, edit it, let the player deal with it. The game is very muted in color. The greens are not very green. Once again, a sort of like very Shadow of the Colossus-esque look to it. Saturation's pretty low. I'm not feeling the music though. I really hope that this is not the music for the whole game. Like, this music is like super sleepy. There should be some exciting music playing during a boss battle like this. I don't think the music's doing this any justice. I mean, I get that they're going for a chill vibe. I'd accept this kind of music while you explore, but not during combat like this. Come on now. It's probably just for the demo, though. I think this is just a placeholder. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Okay. I mean, I was a little worried after the first video. I was a bit worried, but I think the combat trailer kind of gives me a little bit of hope for this. I think the combat looks nice and weighty. I kind of like the Okami thing they got going on with the aerial combat, because I'm a sucker for good aerial combat. There's one more trailer. Alright, someone send me the link for the other trailer. How did they release 3 trailers like this back to back? That's kind of... like, they should have gradually released these instead of all at once. But yeah, if someone can quickly link me the third one. Here's the hands-on, okay. Combat gives me hope. Did they release all of these on the same
Sonic's
day?
done a lot in 30 years. He's been in this unfamiliar genre. Well, I think Crush 40 probably put it best. Open your heart.
Alright.
Him to collect the Chaos Emeralds.
Get to the good stuff.
Sonic to bounce quips off of. No energetic Crush 40 soundtrack. Just wide open fields as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, you
There's
can
a
say that about the
purity
music.
Sonic Frontiers, and it's a vibe that's driven home even further by the
Thank you,
beautiful
Kelly. Thank
yet
you for the
minimalist
resub.
piano melodies that accompany Sonic as he explores
Wait,
the
they're
island.
not kidding around with the piano music, are they? Ooh, man, I don't know about that. That's a little too melancholy, like chill out Sunday night morning coffee
All of this
vibes for
is
me.
a very intentional choice. I asked Sonic team head Takashi Iizuka to describe how the tone of Sonic Frontiers differs from previous Sonic games, and he said, past games in the Sonic series have taken different tones depending on their stories and themes. This time, these mysterious
Like, I
islands
feel like the
are
music
game's
should
main
ramp
setting.
up a little bit when
That's
you're
why
in
our
big
artists have
combat.
worked hard to create a mysterious mood. Of course, the big new change in Sonic Frontiers is the shift from purely linear levels to a huge open world where Sonic can freely run in any direction. But Sonic Team doesn't like to
Take
use
my
the
word
term
for
open
it,
world
when
to
this game
describe
releases,
Sonic Frontiers'
speedrunners are
gameplay,
going to beat this game in
instead referring
probably
to its
under
style as being
15,
open
20
zone.
minutes. They're just
Open
going to find a
world
way to
games
skip
like
to the very
Zelda
end of the
or
game
other
from the
AAA
start. If
games
you can access the
fundamentally
end of the
have
game from the start, they will
RPG or
find a
adventure
way.
worlds. For Sonic, the core here is a 3D action game. Our basic idea was to have that take place in open space. What sets Sonic Frontiers apart is this different approach to an open game world. Having played Sonic Frontiers for about 4 hours, it's easy to see what
Wow.
Izuka-san means.
Holy
Sonic
crap.
Frontiers'
Wait, so
open
what
zone
they've shown
design
here
is
is
very
nearing
different from
completion?
any other open world I played. It's a giant playground. Every
They'll get
4
rid of the
feet, there's a
pop-in,
bumper
hopefully.
spring that bounces you like a pinball between 5 other bumpers before putting you on one of the many grindable rail tracks. Or a speed ramp that sets you on a completely different path leading to some other collectible or reward. Or a line of rings that you can lightspeed dash into. Essentially, they've taken that core appeal of every Sonic level having multiple paths that eventually loop back around to the main one, and applied that to these giant non-linear open zones. One thing that has to be noted is that very few of these elements are built into the environmental design, meaning that rails, platforms, boost rings, and so on are just
Haphazardly
inexplicably
placed,
floating
yeah.
in the air all
Yeah, I
around,
felt the same
which
way when I was
isn't
looking at
totally
this.
unusual for a Sonic game, but it feels especially jarring in Frontiers.
It just feels like they had a landscape, and then they're just like, alright, just place this here, put this here. There's like not a lot of thought process behind it.
Of course, it's worth emphasizing that
noticed
this
that.
gameplay and the version that I played were from an early build, but this is definitely an area that I would hope to see improvement in the final version. Beyond that, there are also a wide variety of puzzles and challenges that are littered throughout the zone, and completing them is how you uncover sections of your map. Most of these are very simple, requiring you to orient a statue the correct way, quickly hop back and forth between colored tiles, or use Sonic's new side loop ability to draw circles around certain objects.
I mean, that's
in the
fine, just
environment
keep them
to
simple.
interact with them. The best ones, though, are the races against the clock where you have to get from point A to point B in a limited amount of time.
Please have online
Openness of
leaderboards, thank you.
Frontiers level design makes
for these
straightforward
speedrun
races like
challenges.
these a ton of fun, because you have to try and improvise a path to the end that might not be immediately obvious. There are some exceptions, but combat in traditional Sonic games generally isn't a thing that goes much
Man, it's
deeper than
striking
jumping,
how
rolling, or
familiar,
using
like
a
how
homing attack into
similar
enemies
the
at the right
animations
time.
of Sonic
That
are
changes
from
in Sonic Frontiers.
Sonic
Now
Forces
after
in this
fighting
game.
all
Looks
sorts of
super
vibrant
similar.
enemies and mini-bosses
It's
using
almost
an
like they
all-new
ripped
array of
the
incredibly
animations
flashy
right out of
attacks.
Forces
It's
and
not
put it in
all
this game.
style and no substance, though. Sonic is able to quickly dodge using the bumper buttons on the gamepad, and by pressing them together, he can even parry attacks with the right timing.
Wow.
His homing attack also feels much more powerful, landing with a ton of impact.
See, I
and
told you, I
keeping
felt the
Sonic
same
stuck
way.
to his enemy, allowing for a
I
flurry
think the
of follow-up
combat
strikes.
actually looks pretty
One of
legit
the
in
things
this.
I really appreciate about the combat from what I played is that there are usually multiple ways to deal with specific enemies. Like, take for example this guy, who has an impenetrable shell that he can expand into spinning blades and throw at you. One way to deal with
I'm
him
okay with
is
the
just to
combat being a
carefully
little
time
slower
enemy
as long
attacks
as like
so
the
you don't get
enemies
hit by the
are
blades.
not super
But if you
frequent.
do that,
But
the
having to do
damage
this with
him is
every
small.
encounter is
To
gonna
increase
get a
that
little
window, you can
overwhelming.
either parry the blades and knock them away right before they hit you, or you can even use Sonic's side loop ability to encircle the enemy.
What
which causes
is
the
that
shell
though?
to go
Like, what are
flying
these
upwards.
enemies? What is that thing? Two giant balls and like
Defeating
a.
these enemies will reward you with EXP
Yeah.
that you can use to purchase new skills from a skill tree.
It's looking a little
which gives
suspect.
Sonic Frontiers a really nice feeling of power progression, even in just the relatively short amount of time that I played. Some of the later skills that you can get are just unbelievably cool. and it's super satisfying to see Sonic Team experiment with different ways that Sonic can attack enemies beyond just spins, jumps, and bumps.
That looks so
In addition
ridiculous.
To these smaller enemies, there are also a handful of enormous world bosses that I had to contend with. These are near Shadow of the Colossus-esque in their scale, with one in particular against a beast named Asura requiring Sonic to bait the Titan to slam the ground and then boost up its arm in order to reach the weak spots on its head. It's an ambitious boss battle, far beyond anything I've seen in the Sonic series to date, but it's also the part of the game that needs the most work. Far too often, I'd fly off the boss's
Welcome
arm
to
without
Sonic
knowing
3D
why,
games.
or I'd get to the top and for some reason lack the momentum needed to actually reach the head.
Listen, it's
Sonic
part of the
must hunt down and
experience.
defeat these bosses
Yeah,
in order to collect portal
that's
tears,
oh my god, that's
which
so
are
part of the
portals
experience.
that lead to bite-sized
The
linear
struggle is
stages,
real.
done in the style of previous Sonic games, giving
Oh, that
Sonic
wall run
Frontiers
looks
a nice
terrible,
mix of
just
both
as I would
old and new
expect.
styles. These classic levels each come with a handful of optional goals, like beating the level under a certain time, collecting all the red rings, and so on, with each goal rewarding you with a vault key, which are needed to unlock the coveted Chaos Emeralds.
Okay.
Sonic Frontiers is an exciting new step forward for the Sonic series into uncharted territory, and based on my time with it, Sonic Team seems to have hit upon a winning formula. There's certainly still work to be done before it's released during the holiday season. There's a lot of distracting pop-in, there's a fair amount of bugs still left to be squashed,
They won't be
big boss
squashed.
fights could do with some tweaking.
They
But
won't.
ultimately, my time with this early build answered the one question I had on my mind. Will Sonic's one-of-a-kind gameplay translate into an open world? The answer is a resounding absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, and tune into IGN
Wow.
for more Sonic Frontiers
A new
coverage
Sonic
as
game
part of
comes
my
out
IGN.
and it gets like
And
not
for everything
completely
else,
terrible
here,
coverage and
IGN.
impressions. Holy moly. Yeah. I think it looks like it has promise. I was worried watching that first video before they showed combat. But I think the combat's going to carry this game.
Sudden pop-in of
I think the combat's going to carry it. It looks very impactful. It's like a beat 'em up. Like it's like what you would want the werehog stuff to feel like in Unleashed without the werehog. Is essentially kind of what I get a feel from that. Keep in mind, I'm super biased with Sonic stuff. So, you know, this game is not going to appeal to everybody. If you haven't been able to get into Sonic games for many years, this doesn't look like it's going to change your mind. But for Sonic fans that have just been desperate for something new and different, it's not Adventure 3, I'll tell you that much. This is certainly not Adventure 3. Which is potentially good because that means that maybe Adventure 3 is definitely still coming for a more traditional Sonic experience. But, yeah. I mean, I kind of liked Forces the second time I revisited it. The first time I wasn't super into it, but when you revisit Forces and you cut out all the fluff, you cut out the costume crap, and you just play the game straight through without worrying about any of the avatar garbage, I kind of enjoyed that. But my least favorite part about Forces was the 2D Sonic levels. I like the 3D stuff. This is obviously nothing like that because those levels are very linear. This is very open world, but it seems to retain a lot of the good elements of Sonic Forces 3D with better combat. So I don't know. I'm hopeful. I still think this game is going to be like a very average, like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It doesn't look like it's going to be on the scale of Sonic 06 bad, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'll be streaming it day one. You can count on that. Day one stream, absolutely. I just hope that this game isn't very long, though. I hope it's not going to turn into some, like, 40-hour epic for no reason. So there you go. There's my first impressions of watching this. What did you guys feel about it? I was really trying to avoid reading chat. Here's a video that compares forces. Nah, I'm done. Yeah, we're good. I don't need a video to tell me how they compare. We're good. Even this one felt kind of unnecessary. It was pretty much the same thing we watched already with narration. But at least his narration kind of confirms some of the things that I was suspecting. What do you guys think of this, though, like, overall? What are you feeling about this? I wasn't really looking at chat because I didn't want my opinion swayed and I didn't want to become distracted. You don't know what to think? Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Looking forward to my glitch hunting. So here's the thing. I feel like the game itself is going to be glitchy, but In these open world games, the progress is usually gated by doing things like taking out bosses. So if this game is like, listen, you can't go to this next area until you take out this boss, you're not going to really be able to skip too much because you're going to have to take out the boss. So you're not going to be able to skip anything. But if they have like gates and stuff where it's like, okay, defeat this many enemies, that part there is my favorite. That's such a Sonic game. Such a Sonic moment. But if it's like, look at the way he runs, I can't wait for that kind of crap. If they let you like access the end game area but not actually get to it yet, you'll be able to break out of bounds in no time for sure. Yeah, I think the music, I really hope the whole game doesn't have sleepy music for real. Like, we need some excitement, please. If the whole soundtrack is piano, god damn, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I also feel like showing this early build was not a good idea. They needed to show this when it was more ready. You shouldn't be showing gameplay for Sonic Frontiers when there's still poppin' that you can probably fix, but probably won't be fixed. Soundtrack's putting you to sleep. Yeah, I don't think the soundtrack works kind of for exploration, but not during the combat. Yeah, the music is what they are going for. I get it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it.